This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the fishing crew.
What is going on, buddy?
Hey, how are you over there?
Pretty good. So I kind of told people we were going to be live on the water, but it is not nice outside, especially for what we do. So we were going to try. I said, God willing, we'll be out there. We try everything we can. The guides decided last night that not a good idea to head out in the water. So we decided to do audibles and come in here and do some live interviews with local guides. And
why not?
We got the first one up is Aaron McQuoid from Outdoors. So a lot of people might know the McQuoid name, but I don't know if they associate it as much with Devil's Lake as they do Minnesota.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because, that's got to be a relative there, got to be related some way, somehow. There's a little bit of familial look there, but how many McQuoids can there be in this world? And then, boom, there you are.
And here I am.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
So thank you. Yeah, I did 15 years on Mille Lacs Lake. We had a great family organization there. We had about 250 beds. It gave us something to do. I mean, we came off the farm. We started doing the fishing thing, and I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, I'm sitting here thinking about how come you guys didn't become the McMudflats, right? Because I mean, right, Mille Lacs. I mean, it's just well known for the mudflats. So the McMudflats would have been a perfect guide service.
Honestly, I think Wally Loma was up on the mudflats at the time, and we always, back in the 90s, we just said Wally. He was the mudflats. We always knew the rocks on the south end way better.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. You just never know who you're going to run into, where and when. And so last night we had a chance to meet you, and we get to go out fishing and find out more about you and Devil's Lake. You've been doing this here for quite some time. So go through the whole history of you coming to Devil's Lake and to where you are today.
Sure. So, I mean, it kind of dates back to 1999, 2000. So I've watched the last 9 feet of water rise. It's been a trip. There's always something new here, but it was just kind of a funny thing. All of a sudden we were selling our resort back home. My mom was passing away, and it was one of those that I needed to do something else somewhere else. And fishing the professional walleye tour, our stop was out here in Devil's Lake. And I always said, if I have the opportunity, I would like to try guiding in Devil's Lake. And man, has it been a lot of fun. It's been a ride. There's been some ups and downs, but boy, oh boy, it's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of fish to catch. I called back there a few times to my brother and my dad, and I said, you guys got to come out here and witness this. This is heaven on earth. It really is. We could go out there and fish all week sometimes and see 1 or 2 people from a distance.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Devil's Lake. Like I tell everybody, I was thinking on the way up here, 20 years since I've been on here on the open water. I come up here quite often ice fishing. Every year I try to make a trip. If not every year, every other year we come up. My wife is so mad at me right now because this is one of her favorite places on earth, and she had put 2 and 2 together until this morning that realized we're staying at Woodlands, which she absolutely loves. Our first wedding anniversary was spent up here.
Oh wow!
Running a tournament,
and I suppose then she found out we're in the legendary suites, and now she's even more bummed.
Well, I told her, I said, I don't want to show you this suite because you won't want to leave. She's like, I love the cabin we had, and I said, yeah, I did too.
It was cool, but
so I don't know which one's to toss. So we had a cabin over there last summer up here, or this one, but Devil's Lake it's a beast. I mean, I live on Lake Oahe in Pierce, South Dakota. That's a beast.
Yes.
But this thing is such a intricate animal, and you can fish every single way you can imagine up here. You can slip bobber them, you can crank them, you can bounce them, go through there's never an ending tactic that doesn't work on Devil's Lake. And when you want to talk about some fun slip bobbering, some big walleyes is one of the best things you'll ever do.
Absolutely. No, you said a mouthful there. I mean, this really is, we got about 500 miles of shoreline of different islands and cattails and this and that. And we pull a lot of spinners. We do a lot of bobber fishing. I run a full guide service. I have 3 other guys that work with me, and it's been just a lot of fun. And if you think you go out there and like, this is how we're going to catch them today and only bring 3 rods, that's not the thing to do. You want to have other rods. You want to have multiple presentations. You don't have to drive 5, 10, 15 miles to the next spot. Drive a half a mile. There's all sorts of different places to go. Look at the map, read the map, understand it. Do a lot more fishing than driving.
Well, and what I tell people all the time, if you've never been to Devil's Lake ice or open water, I suggest, even if you're one of the best fishermen in the country, hire a guide.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, because it's a monster, right?
Absolutely.
From east to west to east to north to south. It's way more than it ever was. When I was a kid, it was just the small Devil's Lake. That was in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
40,000 acres.
Right. So still big.
Yeah.
Right. But not 190,000 now. So it's 5 times bigger than it was. But the crazy thing is, when I was a kid, 2-pound perch was the big thing. I mean, that's what we all knew Devil's Lake for, but there's still 2-pound perch out here.
There is. So through my guide service, we kind of keep a number of it, and we're still averaging about 15 to 19 2-pounders or bigger every year. So it's not that there's a lot of them, but it does still happen. And you'll be surprised how many are 1.9, 1.98.
Sure.
Just not quite there.
But so when you get up here and you go to, like, the first time we came up, not first time, but years ago, me and some buddies came up for my birthday. We stayed up on the west, I think it was West Bay or somewhere up there, and we never left. We never got past the Golden Highway.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
And they're like, oh, I mean, we burned 2 tanks. We burned a tank of gas a day on the side-by-side running around this thing. And my one buddy never been here before. He's like, holy cow, we had to cover every inch of that lake. And I said, we didn't even get a quarter of this lake covered. And so I pulled up the map and showed him. And he's like, are you kidding me? Like I said, we never even crossed the Golden Highway.
Right.
Like, we just stayed up in this west end of this lake, and we never even, and he's like, huh? I'm just like, so you got to understand, like, and then we were sitting there last night. I was listening to Zippy Doll, and I don't know if you were in the conversation with Johnny Candle and some other guys talking about the railroad tracks and people hitting the railroad tracks. So this is, I mean, there's farm machinery, you name it, it's under this body of water, because the water did come up so fast at one point that you couldn't save stuff. So to go out there by yourself, like, yes, there's great maps, but there's always some little nuances to this that you might overlook. So if you're coming up here, and I mean, when you start your day or guide season, where do you start? What presentations do you start with?
So out here, Devil's Lake has been known definitely on the slip bobber in the springtime. That's definitely, we do a lot of that. As that water temperature reaches maybe 60 degrees, we do a little bit more casting, whether it's 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch paddle tails. You'll have a couple weeks where that goes really well. You'll have an overlap of crankbaits, your number 5s, number 7 shad wraps, by far very, very good. Some with rattles work also. But as it hits 65 degrees, a lot of other lakes the same. Start pulling your bottom bouncers. You can cover a lot of ground. You watch your side imaging, and you start catching fish. I mean, we go from catching 20 fish, 50 fish a day to now catching 100 fish a day. You're keeping that bait at the strike zone longer, and we do put a lot more fish in the boat.
And the thing is, like I said, them numbers of fish, even going from 50 fish a day to 100 and so on, that for a family or for anybody
is fabulous. I mean, this is a great bouncer lake.
Absolutely.
It has been forever and ever and ever since the bouncer was introduced to the lake. So that's the cool thing. It's a great family vacation spot. You know, bring the kids. There's so much stuff to do. There's homemade donuts here. There are great restaurants to eat at. Woodland is an experience in itself. The cool thing about Woodland, it's almost like you could have an all-inclusive deal, right? You could come and plop down here. You have amenities available. So if they choose you for a guide, you've got places to stay, and tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. We have a small town. We're living in Minnewacan. We're on the west shores of the lake. There is restaurants there to eat at. There's other bars.
One gas pump in a random field.
Well, there is that.
Right. That saved my life every time I pull a trailer up here because I got to hit that to get to the interstate, right? A big ice shack or something,
right?
So the one gas pump in the middle of the field is the saving grace.
But it's kind of nice. So I have 7 different individual houses in town. So I'm on premise, but I'm off premise. So you have your own unique house to stay at, but yet if you ever need something, so if you're the do-it-yourself group, you bring up your own boat or you bring up your own snow bear or your other ice fishing stuff. If you forget something, if you break something, I have it. You don't have to run back to town. I'll let you use it, borrow it, rent it, buy it, however that may go, because I want you to have a good experience to come back. So we do take care of about 1,500 people days worth out on the ice, out on the water, people on their own or with the full guide service.
So with that, like you said, the mini walk-in, if you've never been there, like you said, you blinked and you missed it and you catch the one gas pump at the end of town. You don't have to come all the way around to Devil's Lake. I mean, Devil's Lake is where we're at, what we're doing. Go see the area. But if you're staying on that side of the lake, you can get a hold of you at McQuoid Outdoors and stay with Aaron and the guys. And you don't have to get guided. Like I said, you can do it yourself. And I'm sure when they get there and you've never been here before, you're going to give them a few areas to go check out. It's not like you're going to tell these guys, well, you didn't pay me.
Yeah,
true.
I'm going to give you better than a bait shop talk because I want you to catch fish to come back. Yeah. So I am going to help you out. But I may not give you the top 3 spots of the day that I know of. But I am definitely going to give you spots where you can go catch fish on your own.
And that's the thing about Devil's Lake is you give them the spots and then they go kind of figure it out. And then they can drive 4 miles across the lake and find the same structure and do the same thing.
Yep.
And nobody will be around them.
Right.
Right. Like you can go out here and not see another boat the entire time you're here.
Right.
It's just and then the backwaters going into Pelican or all the different little backwaters on the ice. I mean, what we fished up here in the Snowbears a couple of years ago, we were in Pelican.
You go to Irvin. There's just so many places to go to.
And we don't think like Pelican or Irvin. To me, that's Devil's Lake.
Yep.
But that's not to some people.
It's not that 190,000 acres that we talk of.
Right.
When we talk of 190,000, that's nothing north of Highway 2 or north of the railroad tracks. There's another 100,000 acres that are not considered Devil's Lake. So when you talk to the Water Commission Board, it's a lot larger than that. And every 1 foot of elevation is 10,000 acres that farmers lose out on, but fishermen gain on. So it's not all roses. I love it because I'm a fisherman.
Yeah.
But the farmers, they're losing their livelihoods over with the gain of the water. But
I mean, you can talk about that. Like I know this is kind of off of your subject, but that's what Kyle did here. This was a farm.
Yeah, right.
This was a family farm and got to the point where they were losing so many acres. They turned it into Woodland Resort.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, I think my favorite part of driving into Devil's Lake and being around this lake is our families from the Minnesota area had cabins in northern Minnesota, central Minnesota. You drive and you don't see trees and it's flat. Then all of a sudden you get to here and you drive down the old wooded trails to get into here or where. And it's just like, this is just a random piece in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Coming from South Dakota, you got a tree strip over here. We're going to pheasant and hunt or deer hunt that. You don't have and then you get here and all of a sudden you're like, where? Like there's nothing like this around. And all of a sudden you get 5 miles out and it's completely different terrain. Look, it's beautiful.
It really is.
And that cat, like from the moment I pull into this community and this area, I'm just in love because I'm like, it feels like I'm driving down the back trail with my grandpa heading to our back place. Like the trees surrounding you, and it's such a cool experience. So you can live right here close. I mean, we're not far from, feels like it's a long ways, 5.5 hours for me. I think the city
4.5 for me, but that's just it. When you look at the cities, you look at Rapid City, you look at Omaha. Omaha's a little bit further trip, right? That's long, but even say Yankton, it's not that far away for a lot of people, and it's a ton of fun. And one of my favorite things getting to Devil's Lake is I know there's 1 hour left to get to Rugby and that's where I grew up. Right. So, so that's always exciting to me, but I love coming here. I love the way the lake looks now. It's massive. It can look like an ocean at times. You know, it's depending on it. Like if it's misty now, you can hardly see across the lake sometimes. It's a gorgeous place to be, and you got to come and check it out. And you know, if we're going to come and do that, tell us all the booking information. How do we get a hold of you? How do we set stuff up with you guys? Sure,
we can find it on the website, McQuoidoutdoors.com. You can call me on the cell phone, text me 701-351-6058. Though that's the easiest way, but just call with some random questions. I'll definitely help you out, point you in the right direction. Yeah. Honestly, I have about 50 beds, but there's about 500 places in Devil's Lake. There's a lot of room. So, but you do need to think ahead. If you don't put it on the calendar, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because a lot of people are coming here.
Right. So June, July are busy times. We're very busy then. If you're coming January, February, March, same thing. You do need to book ahead, call ahead. But, you know, if you put it on the calendar, it will work. It will happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you just got to grab the phone.
Yep.
Make the call. You do it now, even because June and July. June's going to be here before we know it. It's already here, you know, as far as we're concerned, right? So August into September. So book it, make it, plan it, and just make the drive.
There you go.
All right. Well, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right.
And don't forget, we're here because of Visit Devil's Lake.
Right on.
Yes. You can check out Visit Devil's Lake and get probably all your information. And
on the chamber line.
Yep. Yeah. Susie Kenner, Devil's Lake Tourism and Chamber is a phenomenal host. And check out Visit Devil's Lake and you can find all the different people.
Correct. Definitely a wonderful site she's done.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. Hey, thank you very much. We'll hang out for the next couple of days. How's that sound?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.